Hey, hey, hey. Today I want to talk about resurrecting your soul. It is what we know as Easter Sunday. That's how I grew up. Although we really didn't even celebrate Easter because we had a belief system that didn't really celebrate like pagan holidays and things like that. But still, universally, it's still Easter Sunday in the context of Christianity. And I want to talk about resurrecting your soul. No matter what you believe, whether you're a Christian, you may have another belief system. I want to talk about the system that is within, and that is our nervous system. And that is our soul, where our feelings, where the healings and all the things I believe happen. And it's been from a personal journey. So I want to share with you 3 ways to resurrect your soul. Because although it's, Easter Sunday, resurrection, and the 3rd day, Jesus rose, with Jesus, great leader, great teacher in the era and the time. And it's a great blueprint for us. But I like to speak to who you are, and you should trust. Understand that you have feelings, that you also have, again, tools within you. So my name is Janville. If you're new to the channel, that's what we do here. We do a lot of soul searching, self-discovery that leads you to you, the higher you, the true you, the one and only you. So again, I want to speak to resurrecting your soul. And there's a lot of that's a catchy phrase to say, but for me, it's true. In my soul, there was a lot of, we all have things within us. So for me, when I speak of soul, it's our existence, it's our being, it's our true self. But over the years, no matter what you go through, I feel like you grow through those things, like the rose that grows through the concrete. Our soul keeps us alive no matter what tries to come into our life, situations, circumstances, people, the places and spaces we go into, we keep our soul alive. And oftentimes for me, it was a challenge. Again, growing up, I share my story about in the church, in my 20s, growing up around trying to figure out my life. In our 20s is that very difficult time in which we're looking for clarity. We're looking for direction. For me, I had to overcome the limiting beliefs, the fear-based principles and practices that were in my life. I had to overcome eating from a healthy space, choosing to eat and being conscious of what I'm eating, what I'm putting in my mouth, looking in the mirror, being honest about what I like, what I love, the clothes that wasn't fitting. And I really just had to change my entire lifestyle, which then led me to a deeper understanding of self, truly looking at this thing as a very simple present space, because it's all about presence. And so to the point of soul resurrection, I want to share with you 3 things that I did, I believe, to keep our soul alive, but in a space of resurrection. You may feel, and there's times in your life you feel like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? You may feel depressed. You may feel like there is no hope. But today I want to just extend a rope to you. I want to extend a rope. There's a quote that says, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. So we're going to hang on to this thing called life. We may not be able to live intentionally full every day, but some days we just have to hang on. So hang on. And I want to share with you 3 ways to do that. Number 1 is self-reflection. I think it's very important to just look at our life, look at the spaces that we're in, and reflect. Reflect. Just take the time to reflect. You don't need a lifestyle that allows you a lot of time. Yes, time is the ultimate freedom, but you can start right where you are. When I was working as a teacher 9 to 5 and getting off work, going straight to the gym, coming home to a family and cooking. And at the time I was a wife, and then years moved forward, I became a mother. It did not matter the roles that I chose, because they're choices. You have to stay true to who you are. And that's reflecting on yourself. What do I want? What do I value? What are my beliefs? So self-reflection is very intimate, but it's very simple. Think about that 3-year-old child that you're trying to coach, whether it's your child, your niece, your nephew, but think about that little child, and it could be the little child in you. Just ask some very simple questions. That's self-reflection. Start there. I think that really helps. Again, keep that soul alive. Again, talking about resurrecting the soul, but doing the things that make you whole. You are not broken. You are not broken, sweetie. You are not broken, sir. I don't know who you are, but I can tell you one thing. I know whose you are. You're a star. You're a light. You are truth. And you have the power and the essence of everything in you to create the life that you love. And this is not something I'm making up or reading and giving it to you. This is something that I've lived. This is something that I've longed for. And I'm on the journey, and I want to just share with you. I want to bring you along for this journey, because it is true. And it's beautiful. It's not easy, but it is worth it. So self-reflection is a great space to bring your soul alive and resurrect your soul. Sometimes we're in a resurrection season. Sometimes we're in regardless, the bottom line is staying true to who we are, whatever label we want to put on it. The second thing I would say is really think about your passions. I think passions are so important. Purpose is going to vary. I think every season, that's my take on purpose. Like, I knew what I wanted to do as a child, which was a school teacher. And that season of my life is over, but I'm still a teacher at heart. Like, what I'm doing with you, I'm sharing with you, to me, nuggets and tips around life. And it is from an educational space, whether it's through content, framework, practices, principles, it's all education. Education is just a tool to help us. And so I would definitely say, think about the things that you're passionate about. Well, if you struggle with, I don't know what I'm passionate about, what does that feel like? Well, if you reflect on who you are, think about the things that you like, ask yourself those questions, it will lead you to your passions. Your soul comes alive when you're doing things you like. You can just flow. I can speak easier than I can do this easier than just have a conversation with someone, because I feel free in this space. I don't feel like I'm having to be placed in a box. So for me, I know that speaking is something, and as a teacher, that's what I did. I spoke life into my students. I inspired them. I empowered them. So I knew speaking was a passion, but it wasn't so much speaking. It was inspiring and helping people. And oftentimes you just have to think about, what do you like to do? It could be helping people. It could be doing things with your hands or how you want to use your mind, but it's going to be from a creative space, because we are creators. We are the creators. We're from the creator. We're part of creation. So passion's going to come from a space of creating. And creating is not something magical. It's simple. It's using your hands, using your mind, using your feet, whatever it is, the tools that you have within, even externally, our body. Think about it. Think about the things when you were a child, what you really like. Oftentimes, those are spaces we can tap into as a child. It can lead us back to the present of like, oh, I remember when I did that. But I also remember something came into my life that kept me from doing that, or tried to silence me, or told me to stop, or told me I wasn't good enough, or life maybe just took a new direction and you forgot about who you were. So today I want to remind you of whose you are and who you are. You are a powerful being. You are creator. You are life. And you are the creator for your life. You can call it co-creator, but I just want to remind you of your essence. And so I had the pleasure today, and I'll share this, of going to Michael Beckwith. It's called Agape Spiritual Center out in California. But I went to Alive, and it resurrected my soul. And so this conversation really is, it's kind of like, it's self-center. My soul is still full from that, because again, I grew up in the church. So I grew up understanding the power of community. I understand, empowering people through message, but this space was different today. And it's because of the journey that I've been on for the last 15 years of my life that allowed me to actually resonate in this place today. So when I say keep your soul alive or resurrect your soul, it is so important to stay true to yourself, because as you continue to journey, you're going to meet the people that's for you in the seasons. Certain chapters, they're complete. Those people are complete. They were for you in that time. So when you stay true to your passions, sometimes you're going to lose some people. Sometimes you're going to have to remove yourself from spaces. You're going to have to reprogram your mind. And on this journey, our mind's going to be reprogrammed, period. Reprogramming is a part of the process. Our brain is a computer. It's a space in which we input, output, and in order to grow, we have to put in new things, new thoughts. And that means we have to let go. And when we let go, that means some people have to go as well, because they can't grow with us. Not everyone gets to grow with us. So your passions are going to lead you to new spaces, and it's also going to lead you to new people. So passions are important wherever job you're on right now. In that job, in that position, you can stay true to your passions. You can think of the passions. How can you be a light in that space? As a teacher, I chose to be a light. People love to talk about education systems and stuff like that. I don't get into that. I don't think about what's broken, because I'm whole, and I'm going to bring my whole self and be the light in the presence of people. If you think someone's broken, be a light in their life. If they're broken, then be the light and allow the light to come into who they are. Allow the light to come into the space that you're in. These things are the things that, again, bring us together as a community, bring us together in unity and what we're here for to do, which is humanity. It's a very sacred and a beautiful space to be in. It's a human experience, and it is rooted in love. So we have self-reflection. We have passion, staying true to your passions. And then the third thing I would say is to bring your soul alive is to enjoy life. And I think enjoying life, skipping creeks, going to the park and doing things like that. Yes, as children, you do that, and as an adult, but you have to find things that are enjoyable. And to me, joy is a flow state. Life, it shouldn't be this rigid race in place of transactional, because when we get into those spaces, there's no fun in that, you know. And the transaction piece, when you go to the park, let's look at it this way. When you go to the park, or when you go somewhere that's enjoyable, let's say you're at an amusement park, all of the places we think that we enjoy as kids or as adults, it's fun. It's like, hey, we hands in the sky. But why is it that when we get into our life, we can't smile, we don't raise our hand, we don't bring the joy to the scene? Like, it doesn't matter where we are, we can be in joy. And I really want you to think about that, enjoying life in spirit, keeping your spirit alive. Like, inspiration is the spirit, the soul being alive and being joyful. It does not look like a smiley face all the time, but it is not negative. It's not gossiping. It's not being hateful. It's not being bitter. I met some amazing souls this past 2 weeks of my life. I've just been in the journey. I joined Lisa Nichols' Ignite, which is a speaking academy, because that's my goal, is just to learn and do more of this with you and learn from the best. But even in that, the community and the people that I've met, just being in joy. These are people, you can tell when people are happy. You just can. And this, I don't even know their titles. I'm not interested, but they're happy. I don't know if they're married, not married. Do they like men? Do they like women? I don't know their religious beliefs. I know one thing we all have in common, and that's belief in self. That's the power of joy. When you are true to yourself, you're happy. And again, happy is not a hee-hee. It's not a always laughing, but it's a presence of yourself. So please, in order to keep your soul alive, in order to resurrect your soul, one of my favorite books, very simple, but Attitude. That's not the name of it, by Keller. It's slipping my mind, but Attitude is based on attitude, and that's what it boils down to. One of my favorite quotes, you know, Dr. Tamar Bryan said that attitude is a form of depression. A bad attitude is a form of depression. And when she said that, it really made me think about, wow, I had to do some self-reflection, some soul work on my own self, because I was like, ooh, you know, you never been diagnosed with some depression. You never been to the hospital, but you have had depression because you've had a bad attitude, Jeanville. And I had to be honest with myself. And in that moment, it just changed some things in my life. I went on the journey of deeper, like, okay, let's work on this attitude. Let's work on this emotional intelligence. Let's work on how I respond to people. And I really, in doing those things, it infused so much joy in my life. Like, I really felt joyful. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even a conversation to be had with person. In the presence of myself, when the lights are off and nobody's around, I'm in joy. And we have to really just look at our life, think about the places that we're in, the people we're choosing to hang around. That's going to impact us in a big way, of course, how we feel about ourselves and our joy. So I really want to say, in order to bring your soul alive, to really be in that space of joy, think about what it is that's keeping you from that. What's keeping you from that? And be honest with yourself. And sometimes I believe it does have to go deeper. It's going to have to go to the root. I always say, go to the root to get to the fruit of being positive, the fruit of a happy life. It's got to get to the root of somewhere along our lives. We stop, we cut some of our branches, we cut some of the roots in order so that we can't grow, you know, in that area. We want to be well-rounded. We want to be whole. We want to be complete, because that's what our soul is. It's a completeness. It's a oneness. So I just want to stop by and share that with you. I hope that helped you, just again on this beautiful Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, that we can continue to resurrect ourselves every day. You can call it revival, whatever it is, but keep your spirit alive. Keep your soul alive, Kanye. Keep my spirit alive. You can have it all, but the Lord is on my side. I love that hook. I love that message, because it's true. People can take everything away, but they can never take our soul. And that was one thing for me. I'm like, I'll sell everything, but never my soul, because it took me a long time to get to a place where I felt whole. I wasn't broken down. I wasn't fragmented. I didn't feel like I needed to do things to be anything. And realizing in this moment, in this space, in the presence, I'm everything that I need to be. And you are too. So let's stay true to the journey. Continue to put one foot in front of each other and enjoy your week. My name is Jeanville. Thank you for joining me here. And let's continue to do this thing called life.